Ouspensky, chapter 7. And Ouspensky, written by him, his hand, his own impressions on self-remembering. Ouspensky, from chapter 7, his impressions on self-remembering. The first impression was that attempts to remember myself, or to be conscious of myself, to say to myself, I am walking, I am doing, and continually to feel this I. To reading it correctly here, and continually to feel this sense of I stopped thought. When I was feeling I could neither think nor speak. Even sensations became dimmed. Also, one could only remember oneself in this way for a very short time. Remember, these are impressions written by Ouspensky. And then he also goes on to say, in self-remembering, attention becomes divided. One part of it is directed towards the same effort, the effort of self-remembering, and the other part to the feeling of self. And then I am speaking of the division of attention, which is the characteristic feature of self-remembering. I represented it to myself in the following way. When I observe something, my attention is directed towards what I observe. Alright, and when at the same time I try to remember myself, my attention is directed both towards the object observed and towards myself. Having defined this, I saw that the problem consisted in directing attention on oneself without weakening or obliterating the attention directed on something else. Moreover, this quote-unquote something else could as well be within me as outside me. The very first attempts at such a division of attention showed me its possibility. At the same time, I saw two things clearly. In the first place, I saw that self-remembering resulting from this method had nothing in common with quote-unquote self-feeling or quote-unquote self-analysis. It was a new and very interesting state with a strangely familiar flavor. And secondly, I realized that moments of self-remembering do occur in life, although rarely. And they do occur accidentally. I mean, this was written by Gurdjieff in Beelzebub's Tales. Moments of self-remembering can occur in the midst of conditions, circumstances of life in itself, accidentally. Only the deliberate production of these moments created the sensation of novelty. Actually, I had been familiar with them from early childhood. They came either in new and unexpected surroundings, in a new place, among new people while traveling, like, in another country. For instance, when suddenly one looks around, around oneself and says, how strange. How often, like for me, how strange. Sometimes it's a feeling that comes over me, how strange. Sitting here talking to you, whoever you are, at the camera there, and in this place, me doing this video. How strange. Or in very emotional moments, in moments of danger, in moments of danger, in moments when it is necessary to keep one's head, when one hears one's own voice and sees and observes oneself from the outside, looking at yourself. I saw quite clearly that my first recollections of life, in my own case, very early ones, memories from early life, were moments of self-remembering. And this last realization revealed much else to me. That is, I saw that I really only remember those moments, like from early life, of the past in which I remembered myself. Same goes for all the rest of us, those of us who have memories of childhood. Of the others, I know only that they took place, memories of things that happened, that's all. I am not able wholly to revive them. He's talking about those memories in which you know only that they happened, but not real memories of self-remembering. But the moments when I had remembered myself were alive and were in no way different from the present, like they just happened. I was still afraid to come to conclusions, but I already saw that I stood upon the threshold of a great discovery. I had always been astonished at the weakness and the insufficiency of our memory, such as it is. So many things disappear. For some reason or other, the chief absurdity of life for me consisted in this. Why experience so much in order to forget it afterwards? Besides, there was something degrading in this. A man feels something which seems to him a very big thing. He thinks he will never forget it, but 1 or 2 years pass by and nothing remains of it. And it now became clear to me why this was so and why it could not be otherwise. If our memory really keeps alive only moments of self-remembering, it is clear why our memory is so poor. Self-remembering. We must consider that for ourselves, readers of the material here, in search of the miraculous, what self-remembering is. I and the thing what we are considering, the thing that we are observing. And I myself observing the thing, seeing myself, observing myself, and remembering those observations of myself when in a state of self-remembering. And that's how we know that we are remembering ourselves. And what we observe is when we're in a state of self-remembering.